In the cutthroat world of video game development, many studios are looking to be the next best thing. These developers want their game to succeed for a multitude of reasons that can range from higher-ups in corporate wanting to sell as many copies as possible, or all the way down to putting a lot of time and effort into a project and seeing it go. Many games have come and gone as the years went by, and there are some that have a massive following to this day that stood the test of time. Games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Smite, World of Warcraft, and League of Legends come to mind. Then you look at these games that slip through the cracks, these small games that stand the test of time and slowly grow. Games such as Dead by Daylight and For Honor come to mind. Both small dev studios that have made a game like no other. There are a multitude of factors that keep these games alive, one such as uniqueness. DBD, for example, is a game like no other, with many asymmetrical games trying to dethrone them, but they have failed. For Honor, with its unique combat system, fashion, and lore, keeping both old and new players coming back. All of these games have one thing in common that keeps them going: player retention. Let's look at what player retention means. It is, quote, increases the likelihood that they will make an in-game purchase or contribute to the game's monetization methods. Retaining high-value players is frequently essential to a game's financial success, end quote. This is not to be confused with the term player loyalty, which means players that stick with the game develop a devoted fan following. These players are more inclined to put money, time, and social capital into a game. They make up the central group that can support the ecosystem of a game. While this is an interesting topic to cover, we will be focusing on retention in For Honor. If we look at both Steam and console charts of the active player base of For Honor, we can see that at first glance these are large numbers. However, we have to look at outliers in the data, such as those who buy the game, play it once, and never play it again. These numbers are good, but with For Honor being an 8-year-old game, it is going to need to bring players in. And one way many games keep these players is through a leveling or prestige system, as For Honor has an issue where players just leave because there is simply nothing else to do. In most games, these leveling systems, when you reach a max level, you are rewarded. Let's take a look at DBD, where if you reach rank 1, you get 1 million blood points. Or in Call of Duty, where you get a calling card, a border, or other items. Currently in For Honor, there are incentives to grind, such as color palettes, new gear, patterns, etc. However, let's look at the tippy top when you reach that max progression, aka the max rep, or over rep 1000. Let's look at the incentive for rep 1000. You get a little crown above your reps to show off your dedication to the game. Do you get a huge amount of steel or crates for your hard work? No, just a crown. The average player would not want to grind out a game that long just for a tiny crown above their name. Let's look at the max rep now, which has been increased to 80. Currently, there are 3 major incentives to get to rep 80. At 60, you get sulfuric sparks. At 70, you get an emote. And at rep 80, you get the hot pink material. Do you get anything in between 60 and 70 and 70 to 80? Outside of these major rewards? No, there is nothing. Compared to reps 0 to 60, where you are always getting something new, whether it be a color pattern or a color palette. But for some reason, it suddenly stops. This is not a good thing, and I am proposing different solutions to incentivize more players to reach that higher rep. Yes, this will cost money for the devs, and I am well aware of their small size and budget restrictions. I'm just an old For Honor vet throwing out ideas at this point. Let's get into it. For reps 61 to 69, let's keep the theme going with sulfuric sparks and the rainbow. At rep 61, the player unlocks a red recolor of sulfuric sparks. At 62, a orange recolor. 63, a green recolor, much like a emerald green or a Kelly green. A blue recolor at rep 64. At rep 65, a violet recolor. At rep 66, a indigo recolor. At rep 67, a white or silver recolor. At rep 68, a pink recolor. And rep 69, a golden recolor. And to top it off at rep 70, the emote that you normally get. Now, what about between 70 and 80? This is where they could go wild and would incentivize players with new exclusive armor, weapons, and maybe even an execution. At rep 71, you get a new weapon piece. At 72, another new weapon piece. And rep 73, a third weapon piece. Once you get rep 73, this would complete the full new weapon set. Now at rep 74, we get our new armor headpiece. Rep 75, a new armor chest piece. And rep 76, a new armor arm piece. Rep 76 would complete this new armor set. At rep 77, a new signature. Rep 78, a new combat emote, which the animation could be shared amongst all other heroes. And the most controversial, rep 79, a new execution. This animation could be shared amongst all heroes like mini event executions. And finally, rep 80, the hot pink material. So it's no surprise that the higher up in the reps you go, the more tedious it is. And it's really a no man's land. There's nothing to get. Or even reaching rep 1000, you don't get anything aside from the crown. You don't get some huge reward. You don't get a massive amount of steel or some scavenger crates, XP tickets, etc. to say, good job, congratulations on reaching 1000 reps. You did something that not everybody could do, so here's your reward. Your reward is just a crown. That, I mean, it's nice looking, but nobody really pays attention to it. And then we look at reps 60 to 80. The only three incentives you get now is the sulfuric sparks, the emote, and this wild berry material, which is really good looking. But your average player is not going to grind that hard. And they're not going to grind that long because people have lives. They have lives. They're not going to grind that long. And some people, they don't want to grind that far because there's nothing in between. You're pretty much playing just for those three things past rep 60. But this is just from my opinion and experience with over 1,700 reps in the game. So if y'all have any other ways you would make that no man's land less barren, let me know down in the comment sections below and share the video around. Every like helps me out. Don't forget to check out my Twitch where I stream my off nights, internet depending. With all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to follow to become a seal baby, and I'll see y'all in the next one.